Welcome, beautiful warrior queen. Welcome to the Girl Don't Settle channel. If you're new here, I want to give you a beautiful, warm welcome. Thank you for stopping by and taking time today for yourself to learn something new that can help improve your life. If you're new here, that's what we're all about. We're all about not settling in life, in any area of life. And on this channel, I share weekly tips and tricks on how to live more happy, healthy, and fulfilled. So if that's something that you're interested in, don't forget to hit the bell notification, but also subscribe for weekly videos. I would love to see you stick around and really get to know me and the community. You can also find us on our private Facebook group, also called Girl Don't Settle, or you can come check me out on Instagram, girl_don't_settle. And if you feel so compelled to, you can also write me. I would love to hear from you. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's video is all about the 5 different steps that I would take to really, manage your way through these difficult and trying times. I know that a lot of women have been reaching out to me personally in my DMs, in my email, and they've been asking me, Andrea, what are some tips that you have that helps you get through these difficult times? How are you able to stay so positive during these, hard times? You seem like, you really have your shit together and you seem to not be affected by the world events. Well, I want to start off by saying that it's not that I'm not affected by the world events. That is absolutely not true. I am not as affected by the world events as a lot of other people that I see around me. But that is because I've been able to implement some of these things into my own life right from the beginning. It's very helpful that I've been doing this from day one because, I never allowed my anxiety and fear to really escalate to a point where my health would be compromised. But don't worry, if you're just starting now and you're just kind of sick of this negative energy and feeling down, if you're high anxiety, if you're feeling fearful, don't worry. 1, you're not alone. And 2, it is never too late to start implementing these tools, tricks, habits, and to really change your mindset around how to deal with these trying times. It's never too late for any changes in life. It's never too late to heal, to grow, or to completely change your life. And that's exactly what I promote and teach on the Girl Don't Settle platform. That's what we're all about here. So let's get started. I want to start off by sharing with you a statistic that was found at Harvard University when they were studying happiness. And what they found when they did this particular study was they found that the number 1 contributor to overall personal happiness was self-agency. And what self-agency means is our ability to control our circumstances, our ability to control our lives, right? And everyone knows what it feels like to be feeling out of control and not in control, not in the driver's seat. And that really rang true to me when I heard this, because that probably best describes how the world is feeling right now. And I would love to hear from you. Comment below if that sounds true for you. Maybe you feel like you are out of control when it comes to possibly losing your employment. Maybe you feel like you wish that you could control whether or not your family gets, COVID-19. Maybe you feel like you've seen so much sadness, scarcity, despair around you or in media, and you feel sad and hopeless and scared. These are all feelings of feeling lack of control. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. We don't know what the laws are going to be next week in our own communities. Things are constantly changing, and it's been like that for over a year. So if you're feeling out of control, don't worry. Again, you are not alone. The whole world is really going through this right now. Some more than others, and some of you may be more directly affected than others, but just know that you are not alone. Everyone is suffering in their own way. Because we are so out of control, and everything has gotten so out of control, it is no wonder that, suicide rates have gone up, that depression is running rampant in all sorts of communities all around the world. And like I said, people have been reaching out to me to ask me for advice. People are really feeling at a loss at this time. But the good news is that there is hope. There is ways to work around this. There is ways to really take back control of our own lives so that we can start to feel happier and healthier, which is very important during these times, because when we are stressed and when we are living in fear, our cortisol levels rise and our immunity lowers. And that's the last thing that we want right now, is a lowered immune system. We want our immune systems to be strong. We want them to be fighting and working hard for us. So I'm really excited and happy that you're here watching this video, because the tips that I'm going to share today are all going to help you not only feel happier and in more control of your life, but also this is going to help your overall health, mental and emotional. With that being said, number one on my list is taking control of what we can control. Because there's so much uncertainty in the world today and so much that we can't control, it is more important than ever that we take back control of what we can control. And we need to stop focusing on what we can't, because that is only going to drive us bonkers. That's only going to drive us to more stress, more fear, more cortisol, and negative effects overall, which is not what we want, right? So, number one is do what you can for yourself. Take control of what you can take control of. This could be looking at your health. What areas in your life can you improve when it comes to your health? Maybe you can clean up your diet and add, some more fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet. Maybe you can cut out soda, or maybe it's not diet related. Maybe your diet is, good and strong and on point, and you feel great in that department. But maybe it's that you need to start moving more. Maybe you've been slacking in the exercise department, and you've become a little bit more of a couch potato during these difficult times, because it's easy to sit down after work and plop your butt on the couch and get lost in a television show or two or three or four or five or a whole series or a movie, whatever it is. I understand completely that this is one of those times where this is going to become more of a habit than maybe in the past, because again, you're probably wanting to escape your reality, and that's totally fair. But again, we need to take back control of our own personal lives, because this is something that we can control, right? So what other areas do you think maybe you can control? Maybe you can control your consumption of alcohol or drugs or smoking. These are all other substances that you might be ingesting or intaking that are causing lowered immune, that are causing more stress on your immune system, that are causing more stress on your body. Again, during a pandemic, specifically with this type of virus, you want to build up your immunity. This is something that you can control. The government cannot control this. Your family, your friends, naysayers, whoever, anyone out there, no one else can control this but you. So take back the control and start to look at what areas you can improve in your own life, in your own health. And I promise you that when you do this, you're going to start to feel more empowered. You're going to start to feel better. And working out and exercising in whatever way and capacity that you can, whether that's at the gym. I know a lot of gyms are closed right now. Whether that's jogging outside, whether that is working out, watching a YouTube video on your phone or your TV, getting some free weights from Walmart. I used resistant bands for the first year of this pandemic at home, and I watched YouTube on my smart TV, and it was amazing, and it really helped, okay? But when we exercise, we elevate the good endorphins, and this not only elevates our mood, but again, it contributes to better health. So it's like check, we're checking off a couple boxes here. And I mean, what more can you really ask for? Another important thing to do right now is to really pay attention to your body, what it's telling you. Really get in tune with your body. I found that yoga has really helped me. I mean, it helps that I am at the Glow Center in Nicaragua where I get daily yoga, but you can do yoga at home again, or you can hire a yoga teacher to do one-on-one classes with you via Zoom or some type of video chat. I've noticed yoga has been greatly beneficial, not only for my health, for my mental health, my emotional health, but I also noticed that I'm more in tune with my body. And again, when we are dealing with a pandemic and we are scared of getting ill and we are working with, a virus, it is very important that we know the signs of, being sick, signs that maybe we're lacking a specific nutrient. Maybe our body is telling us that we need more rest and relaxation. But if you're not in tune with your body, how are you going to know this, right? So you want to look at things like, are you having frequent headaches? Are you, feeling really drained at the end of the day? Is a certain area in your body hurting? You want to look at those because different areas of your body can mean different things. And it doesn't mean like, oh, if your back hurts, you've hurt your back. Sometimes it could be a trigger response from an emotional feeling that you have. Okay, so really tuning into your body, listening to your body, and giving your body what it really needs. Something else that you can control is how much sleep you get, right? So if you're not sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, that is something that you can control. You might have some excuses around why you're not getting that amount of sleep, but I'm sure if you really wanted to take back control of what you can control, then you could manage to go to bed a little bit earlier, right? So that's another big contributor to bad health and lowered immune systems is if you're not getting enough rest, and this is an ongoing thing, this can really start to bog you down emotionally, mentally, and physically. And it's been proven by science that if we don't get enough rest, that our immune systems are compromised, and it can lower our ability to fight off viruses, diseases, infections, and so on. So make sure you're getting enough rest. Another thing that you can control is who you surround yourself with and what type of energy you surround yourself with, okay? So look around you. Are you hanging out with negative Nancys? Are you hanging out with people that drag you down? Are you spending a lot of time hanging around people that are sucking up any positive energy that you do have left in your system? Well, that is another thing that you can control. And yes, it might be hard to eliminate certain people from your life or to take a break from certain people in your life, but I'm telling you that it is so, so crucial to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with positive, loving relationships and people. This is going to really help you with your overall well-being and happiness, which again is going to elevate, let me hear you say it, your immune system. And that's what we want, right? Because you know what? There's no greater feeling of empowerment when you are in tune with your body, you're moving your body, you're fueling your body right, and you feel very good and confident knowing that you are super healthy and that if you did catch this virus, you'd most likely survive it. And walking through life feeling that way, feeling confidence that you will be okay through all of this, this really helps lower the anxiety, lower the stress, lower the cortisol, and helps me personally get through my day-to-day life. And it's one of the main factors that has played into the reason why I'm not super stressed about this virus. Now, everything that precedes number 1 on the list are all also things that you can control, but they're actually going to be the next 4 items that I have on the list to how you can stay positive during these difficult times. So number 2 on the list is meditation and mindfulness. I know, all of my friends, or most of my friends, talk about how they can't turn down the noise. They can't meditate because they can't shut off the monkey mind. Well, I also was like that when I first started meditating. So, no excuses. I want you to try meditating, okay? I want you to really give it a shot, and not just once, but try it for a week at least. And really decide at that point if it's helping you or not. The most important thing about meditation is mindfulness. It's about being in the present moment. It's giving your mind a break from thinking about the past and focusing on the future and the what ifs, and really just being still, getting out of your thinking brain and being with yourself. Okay, so this is super, super crucial, especially during these times. I want to give you an analogy here to give you an example of what meditation really does for your mind and for your well-being. So imagine that I have a really heavy weight in my hand. Okay, maybe it's not really heavy, but say it's 5 pounds. Well, I can hold this 5-pound weight in my hand, for 5 minutes, and maybe after 5 minutes it's starting to get a little annoying, a little heavier, right? And after 10 minutes it's really, really getting on my nerves. It's really starting to push my arm down, and it's becoming harder and harder to hold it up. After 20 minutes, I mean, my wrist is about to give out, and I'm really trying with all of my might to hold this weight up, but it's drooping more and more, and I'm starting to shake. My arm is shaking. After 1 hour, my arm is ready to fall off, okay? So I'm going to put this weight down. I'm going to put it down. So now I no longer have the weight in my hand. Oh, my hand feels so much better. My wrist is feeling so much better. I'm just so glad I was able to put down that weight, because it was really, really heavy. And for a second there, I really thought my arm was going to fall off. And you can just imagine how relieved I am, right? So now I give that a break for about 10 minutes, and I'm now going to pick that 5-pound weight up again, okay? So I have the 5-pound weight in my hand now, and it's not feeling as bad as it was 10 minutes ago. It's not feeling as good as it was, right at the beginning, but it's feeling so much better. Now I think I could probably hold this weight again for maybe 10 minutes before I have to put it down again. So when I explain this analogy to you, it is because it is similar to what happens to your mind when you meditate. You're giving your mind a break, just like I gave my hand a break and my arm and my wrist a break by putting the weight down. Meditation is putting the weight down. It's putting down the weight of all of this negative energy that's around us, and all of the worries and concerns and fears and anxieties that we have running through our minds on a daily basis. It's giving our minds a break from all of that. So especially once you're able to really start to meditate properly and focus inward and able to calm your mind for 10 to 20 to even 30 minutes a day, the benefits are immense. They are huge, and they've really helped change my life. Not only because I naturally have high anxiety, and I had social anxiety for most of my life, so it's helped me tremendously in that area, but especially during these really difficult times, it's helped because my mind needs a break, between social media, the news, talking to people, hearing about things, hearing the tragedies of the world, being bombarded with fear-mongering, all of it. Between my own anxieties, my own life struggles, there's so many uncertainties of the world right now. We all have our own uncertainties, our own fears, our own concerns, and our own circumstances to deal with right now. But the main point is that we are all struggling one way or another. So meditation is key here. It can really, really help de-stress. And again, even if you only put those thoughts down for 5 minutes at the beginning, and then eventually 10, 15, 20, any break for your mind other than sleeping is a huge deal, and it's going to be a game changer, I promise you. So I really recommend that you try this ASAP. I hope that you will take my advice and really start to implement meditation into your daily life. If you're a complete beginner and you've never meditated before and you don't even know where to start, I want you to know that that's okay, that there are apps that you can find on your cell phone, on your mobile device, or on YouTube even. You can find lots of different videos for meditation, and it'll be guided meditation that'll walk you through the entire process. So no excuses and no worries. Get started today. And if you do try it out, please don't hesitate to let me know if it's worked for you and if it's benefited you in any way. Number 3 on the list is finding something meaningful to focus on, okay? And when I say this, I mean, it doesn't have to be your career. It doesn't have to be your job, but it has to be something bigger than yourself. It could be volunteering at a local shelter. It could be volunteering on a project that you're very passionate about. It could be starting a career in a field where you can help others. It can be volunteering at your children's school. Take whatever it is that you're passionate about in life and see if there's something that you can do in that area, whether it's for work or volunteering, fundraising. Just try to find something that you can focus on that is greater than yourself, that can really add purpose and meaning to your life, something that'll help make you feel good from the inside out. I've been volunteering for years and years and years, and it's always brought me, more peace, more happiness, and more fulfillment. And I think it's really important during these times because, again, it'll help you look outwards rather than inwards and looking at all your own hardships, and rather help you focus on something external, something that doesn't revolve around you and being in your own head about your own life and your own circumstances. And it'll give you greater meaning and purpose to your life, which is one of the other huge factors in overall happiness in one's life. So I highly recommend finding something meaningful to work on, to focus on, okay? Number 4 on the list is watching less news. Stop following the hype on media about this pandemic. Try not to focus on the numbers and the news articles and the news stories that you're being bombarded with. Okay, I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. Honestly, I contribute one of the main top reasons why I am able to stay and remain so calm during these hard times to the fact that I stopped subscribing to the media and to the news and to following the numbers of increased COVID cases and increased deaths a long time ago. Actually, in fact, I didn't ever really start. I never really allowed myself to go there. And I've been talking about this in my videos from day one because it is so huge when it comes to the fear factor. I can't imagine how stressed out it must make you feel when you watch the numbers going up, the death numbers going up, or hearing about only the worst case scenarios when it comes to this virus on the news, and every day being bombarded with different news stories that are heartbreaking. In general, I don't tend to watch the news for this exact reason, because I know that 80 to 90% of news stories usually focus on the negative, and that is for a reason. That is because it gets your endorphins going, it gets the adrenaline going. And what does that do? That, my friend, keeps you glued to the TV, keeps you glued to the news channel. And why does the news channel want this? Well, it ups their ratings, right? And what does it mean to up their ratings? Well, it means more advertising payments go to them, right? So it is a business. This is not a non-for-profit. News channels and news media is not for-profit. It is not looking out for your best interest. It is there to exploit negative world events. It's there to exploit our emotions. The news has a way of helping us hyper-focus on the negative rather than seeing the positives. If they were to share more of that positive news in the media, I might take it more seriously. I might spend more of my time watching it. But unfortunately, I don't focus on the negative, and I choose to consciously watch what I watch. I consciously choose what I focus my energy on, because energy is key here. We want to keep our vibes high. We want to keep our energy high. And if you are someone who either needs to know the numbers, like the COVID case numbers and the death rate numbers in your community, that's totally fine. I would suggest, though, to not be continuously watching it throughout the day. Take out the notifications when it comes to certain pop-ups on your phone or your social media. Don't subscribe to certain news channels, and instead consciously choose to once a day, maybe once a week, but a specific, time that you're going to log in and you're going to look at the data, okay? Because yes, sometimes we do need to be informed. I personally don't really need to be that informed because I am traveling right now, and I know and I can clearly see that around me and here in Nicaragua, things seem to be fine. And I know for myself that the biggest news out there, the biggest world events are going to come to my attention, whether I like it or not. I'm going to find out one way or another from those who I meet and those who I speak to. And that's fine. That's good enough for me. I only need to know the essentials. But if you're someone who needs to know those specific numbers in your community, I would say to really take time to decide when you're going to log in, when you're going to focus on the numbers. And the other thing is, maybe you think you need to know the numbers. Maybe you've convinced yourself, or maybe you've been addicted to following it and to following the numbers. And maybe it's because it raises your endorphins, it raises your adrenaline, and you didn't even realize that you're actually addicted to watching the numbers go up and down or go up. And you're not realizing that the effect that it's having on yourself, on your well-being, your mental health, your emotional health. So maybe in this moment right now, you can take a second and really think about it. Do you need to be following the numbers daily? Do you need that stress in your life? Is it essential? And if it isn't, maybe it's time to remove it from your life. Take a break from social media, take a break from the news, take a break from talking about it. Because again, when you raise your cortisol levels, you lower your immune system, and that is not what we want. That's the last thing we need. Last but not least, number 5 on the list is gratitude. Gratitude has always been my secret. Actually, I shouldn't say always, but for the last 2 years, gratitude has been everything to me. It has helped me remain positive. It has helped me see with compassion in my eyes. It has helped me see that my life ain't so bad. It helped me get out of the victim mindset, which I personally like to call the trauma mindset. It has helped me stay grounded during these difficult times. And I know that it can also help you, feel better in these difficult times. All too often, especially right now, during this crazy world event, it's hard for us to realize everything in our lives that we have to be grateful for. And maybe, just maybe, you've lost sight of what there is to be grateful for in your life. But if that's the case, don't be so hard on yourself, girl. You know what? It is no surprise that you'd be feeling this way between, like we've talked about, all of the media, all of the fear mongering, all of the decisions, all of the ups and downs, all of the uncertainties, and the fear alone, the fear of death alone, the fear of dying from COVID alone is enough to keep your mind, hyper focused on the negative. But gratitude can help you in this department. Practicing gratitude and starting a gratitude practice can be a complete game changer. And I know that it has been for me. There's a few ways in which I would suggest practicing gratitude, and I'm going to share 3 of them with you right now. So number 1 is something that I talk about often in my videos as well, is that I started 2 years ago when I first started my own personal growth, personal development, transformation journey. I started by every single morning putting my hand on my heart and saying, Andrea, I love you. Really feeling the love for myself here in my heart. And then I would go through, I still do this, I go through 10 to 20, I don't count them, but I try to think of as many things as possible to be grateful for for the day before, for that morning, for just anything that I can think of. It could be health, it could be family and friends, it could be situations, it could be the fact that I woke up that morning, it could be that the sun is shining, it could be that I had a beautiful conversation with a friend, it could be that I'm healthy and happy, and whatever it is, from the big things to the little things, just coming up with as many as possible. This is something that has completely changed the outlook of my life. It has changed my outlook on life, and it really helps me start my day off right and gets me in those positive, high vibes so that I can remember throughout the day to breathe and to recognize all that there is to be grateful for in life and all the beauty that is around me. And that leads me to number 2, and that would be to, throughout your day, to really try to be mindful. Stop yourself randomly. Every once in a while, try to remember to be grateful. So I do this often throughout my day. Maybe it's a specific, situation or circumstance that's happening that I'm like, oh, this is beautiful, or this is amazing, or it's something that I'm really enjoying. I'm able to now kind of stop in that moment and be very mindful and present in that moment and really thoroughly enjoy it and say to myself in my head, wow, I'm so grateful for this experience. I'm so grateful for this. And the more often we can do this throughout our day, the better. Not only does this switch us from negative to positive thinking, but again, it heightens our vibration, and it makes us feel overall happier and more fulfilled. And the third way that I could suggest that you practice gratitude is by listening to an audio recording in the evening before bed. It is a great way to end your day, and it'll promote a better sleep, a happier sleep, and hopefully even more beautiful and better dreams, which can also carry through to the next morning, which will again start you off on the right foot for your day ahead. So I decided to actually create an audio recording of my gratitude meditation that I do in the evening just for you. So if you would like a copy of this gratitude meditation audio, you can find the link below. I think that you're really going to enjoy it, and I think that it can really be a game changer when it comes to staying positive during these difficult times. And that is exactly why I created it. In the audio, I do a process of calming the nervous system, which is huge right now as well. So I do a breathing technique which helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which really helps calm you down, which is perfect for the evening right before bed. And then I do an exercise where we connect your mind with your heart. So it's mind and heart coherence. And this is really, really powerful. I don't know if you know the power of your heart, but your heart is super, super strong and super powerful. And when you can practice gratitude from your heart space, there's nothing more powerful than that. So again, if you want to check that out, the link is below, and it is absolutely free for you, my love. Well, that's it for my 5 tips to staying positive during these difficult times. I hope that you got something from this video. I hope that it can help you in some way. I hope that you will take it seriously. I hope that you will try some of these tools, tricks, habits, and techniques and implement them into your life so that you can start to feel less stress, less anxiety, and start to really show up in the world feeling healthier and happier so that you can manage these crazy, crazy times. One of the biggest reasons why I think it's so important that we really start to focus inwards, focus on what we can control right now more than ever, is because we have a huge decision to make in our lives. We have to look at how we are going to handle the situation. We have to decide if we are going to get the jab or not. We have to decide if we are going to be part of this experiment or not. And we cannot trust our own judgment if we are living in high state of anxiety or if we are living in fear. It is really hard for us to trust our own judgment if we are stuck in this fight or flight mode. Plain and simple. And when we're in this state of chaos and this state of fear and uncertainty, it's really easy for us to just be like, hey, yes, give me whatever it is. Give me the magic pill. Give me what it is that's going to help me, feel normal and be less scared. And it's going to help make the world go back to normal, right? but the picture isn't always as it seems. And it is our right, not only our right, but it is our responsibility to, look at things with a clear vision, look at things and approach our health decisions with a clear mind, with lowered anxiety, without the lens of fear, covering our eyes. And it's important for us to look at the facts. It's important for us to do the research, and it's important for us to make the right decision for ourselves and for our families, our communities, and the world at large. But again, we can't do that if we're in a state of high alert, if we're in a state of anxiety and fear. It is really, really difficult for us to make a clear, healthy, honest decision. So I will leave you with that. I will leave you with that message, but I also want to leave you with the message again. Remember, this is about self-agency. This is about taking back control of our own lives, realizing that we have the key to our own health and happiness in our own hands, and taking that responsibility for ourselves and focusing on what we can control rather than what we can't. Okay, so I'm going to leave you today with that message. I just want you to know, wherever you are in the world, I love you, and I hope that you are doing okay. I hope that you haven't been harshly, directly affected by this crazy pandemic, and I hope that you know that you are worthy of living happy, healthy, and free. I don't care where you come from, what you've done, where you've been, you are worthy. I believe it, and I hope you do too.